Moth Man. The Moth Man is a strange creature first reported in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, during the 1960s. Witnesses described a tall, winged figure with glowing red eyes flying through the night sky. People claimed to see it near abandoned buildings and lonely roads. The sightings became especially famous after they occurred shortly before the collapse of the Silver Bridge in 1967. Because of that timing, many locals believed the creature was some kind of warning sign before disasters. Some residents later said the sightings created a strange sense of tension in the town, as if something unusual was unfolding just beyond everyday life. Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is said to haunt the deep forests of the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. According to old folklore, the creature has the body of a kangaroo, leathery bat-like wings, and the head of a horse. The tale began in the 18th century when frightened villagers claimed a cursed child transformed into a monster and flew screaming into the forest. Over generations, the story spread through farms, hunting camps, and quiet towns. Travelers sometimes reported hearing strange cries echoing through the trees at night. Whether real or imagined, the legend turned the lonely Pine Barrens into a place where every shadow and distant sound felt slightly more unsettling than usual. Goat Man. The Goat Man legend appears in several parts of the United States, especially in Maryland and Texas. Stories describe a tall creature with the body of a man and the head of a goat. Many versions place the creature near old bridges, empty roads, and wooded paths where few people travel after dark. Some tales claim it was once a scientist whose experiments went terribly wrong. Others say it is something older that simply hides in remote places. Teenagers often pass the story around as a warning about wandering too far from town at night. Over time, the Goat Man became one of the most recognizable bridge legends told across rural American communities today. Flatwoods Monster. The Flatwoods Monster comes from a strange event reported in West Virginia in 1952. Several boys saw bright objects streak across the evening sky before landing beyond a nearby hill. When they went to investigate, they claimed to encounter a towering figure with a spade-shaped head and glowing eyes. Witnesses said the creature seemed to float above the ground while releasing a sharp metallic odor. The frightening sight quickly spread through the small town as neighbors repeated the story again and again. Although investigators later suggested natural explanations, the mysterious encounter still remains one of the most famous alien-style legends connected to rural American skies and folklore today. Chupacabra. The Chupacabra legend began in Puerto Rico during the 1990s after farmers discovered livestock mysteriously dead and drained of blood. Animals often showed strange puncture marks that seemed difficult to explain. Soon, witnesses described a bizarre creature responsible for the attacks. Some said it looked reptilian with spines running along its back. Others believed it resembled a hairless wild dog, moving silently through farms at night. The name Chupacabra literally means goat sucker, reflecting the belief that the creature feeds on livestock blood. Reports spread quickly through newspapers, radio, and later the internet, allowing the eerie story to travel far beyond the island where the legend first frightened rural farming communities there. Bunyip. The Bunyip is a mysterious creature from Australian folklore believed to live in swamps, rivers, and billabongs. Early European settlers heard stories about the being from Aboriginal communities who warned travelers about strange sounds rising from dark waters at night. Descriptions of the creature vary widely. Some accounts mention flippers, tusks, and a heavy body lurking beneath the surface. Others describe glowing eyes and a deep, echoing roar rolling across quiet wetlands. Because the landscapes were unfamiliar and often dangerous, the Bunyip legend became a way to explain mysterious noises and unseen movements in remote waters, where few people felt comfortable exploring after sunset in those vast, lonely Australian wilderness regions there. Dover Demon. The Dover Demon is a mysterious creature reportedly seen in Dover, Massachusetts in 1977. Several teenagers walking at night described encountering a small figure with glowing eyes and a large, hairless head. Its thin arms and legs clung awkwardly to stone walls and tree branches as it moved quietly through the darkness. Witnesses said the creature looked almost human, yet strangely unfinished, as if it did not fully belong in the natural world. The sightings lasted only 2 nights, but the brief encounters left a lasting impression on the small town. Ever since, the quiet roads around Dover have been remembered as the place where something unexplained once stepped briefly into view. Fresno Nightcrawler. The Fresno Nightcrawler became famous after unusual security camera footage recorded in Fresno, California. The video appeared to show a strange, pale figure walking slowly across a quiet backyard late at night. What made the sighting unusual was its shape. The creature looked almost like a pair of long legs moving gently without a visible upper body. Because the movement seemed natural yet difficult to explain, the footage spread widely online. Some viewers believed it might be a clever trick or costume. Others felt the strange figure represented something entirely unknown. Even years later, the quiet clip continues to inspire speculation about what truly walked across that dark California lawn night. Shadow people. Shadow people are mysterious, dark figures that some individuals claim to see briefly out of the corner of their eye. Witnesses often describe describe human-shaped silhouettes moving across walls or doorways before vanishing into darkness. The experiences commonly happen late at night when a house is quiet and still. Some people report seeing them during sleep paralysis, when the mind is awake but the body cannot move. Because the shapes rarely show clear features, observers are left uncertain whether they witnessed something supernatural or simply a trick of perception. Even so, the repeated stories have turned these fleeting shadows into one of the most discussed modern paranormal legends shared online today. Lick Monster. The Lick Monster is linked to a tall railway trestle bridge near Louisville, Kentucky. According to local legend, the creature is a strange human-goat hybrid living beneath the old tracks. Stories claim it lures curious visitors onto the narrow bridge before an oncoming train suddenly appears. With little space to escape, the situation quickly becomes dangerous. Many historians believe the tale began as a warning meant to keep people away from the risky structure. Over time, however, the cautionary message slowly transformed into a darker legend about a lurking creature guarding the lonely bridge deep within Kentucky night fog and echoing train sounds that travel through the valley. Wendigo. The Wendigo comes from the folklore of several Native American tribes living in the cold forests of the northern United States and Canada. It is usually described as a tall, skeletal creature with endless hunger. In many stories, the monster was once a human who became cursed after committing acts of greed or cannibalism during desperate winters. As the legend spread, the Wendigo became a powerful warning about losing humanity when survival becomes difficult. The creature represents the fear that hunger and isolation can slowly change a person into something cold, empty, and endlessly searching for more. Because of this meaning, the legend still echoes through northern forests and winter storytelling traditions. Hat Man. The Hat Man is one of the most frequently reported shadow figures in modern paranormal stories. Witnesses describe a tall, dark silhouette wearing a wide-brimmed hat. The figure often appears standing silently in a corner or near a doorway during the night. Unlike other shadow shapes, people clearly remember the outline of the hat, which gives the presence a strangely human personality. The figure rarely moves or speaks, yet many witnesses recall an intense feeling of unease while it stands watching. Reports from different countries share remarkably similar details, which has helped transform the quiet silhouette into one of the most recognizable modern urban legends whispered across internet forums worldwide. Anyway, let me know what topic I should cover next, and don't forget to subscribe.